Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those that are new here, my name is Melanie and I have been sharing my cancer journey. Just a brief rundown for those that are new. I was diagnosed with squamous cell carcinoma in my sinus passages, nasal passages, back in 2023 at 30 weeks pregnant with my daughter. We very quickly had to make a plan to deliver her early. Thankfully, she was measuring big enough to be healthy when she delivered. And so we delivered her at 32 weeks. She started in the NICU. She did have to spend about 2 weeks there, but she was in the NICU for 2 weeks, and I started chemo just a few days after giving birth to her there in the hospital. We both were in the hospital for about 2 weeks, and then we went home and I finished my chemos outpatient. So fast forward, we had thought we were no evidence of disease, and that really was not necessarily the case because we are back. And now we are at MD Anderson. You can go back and watch older videos if you're new here and want to get caught up, but basically a long string of events led us to MD Anderson, where we are now doing more treatment. Also, subsequently, as part of my previous cancer eradication, I lost my left eye because of a tumor that was still wrapped around my optical nerve, I don't know, wrapped up in my eye region. So they had to remove my eye for that, and we had some issues with radiation burning a hole in my skin flap, is what they call it, when they basically put skin in place of that eye structure. So we were kind of going along trying to figure out how best to deal with getting that hole repaired, and then we get another, hey, you still have cancer, it's growing, and we need to do something about it. So that is now at the forefront. The surgery stuff to repair the hole will be waiting, but I am back here, hooked up to, this is actually immunotherapy, but I will be doing chemo after this. So my new protocol is immunotherapy and then 2 different types of chemo, one of which will be done here at the Infusion Center, and the other one I will go home on a pump. So I figured that I would get on and just share starting chemo again and what that feels like, and answer some questions that I've been getting. But starting chemo for a second time feels different. The first time around, we were new to this cancer world, and it still is very scary, but it was scary. We didn't know what was going to happen. We'd never been through it before. I'd never done chemo before. And so it was all just brand new territory. Even being here back in, I'm actually not in a chemo chair. I am in a chemo bed in my own room. It's crazy. I'll show you. Like, I have my own room, which feels a little like I'm back in the hospital, which I'm not. It is outpatient. There's Babe. This is actually the first time he's come to a chemo infusion with me. My mom usually was the one that went with me before, and he stayed home with our daughter. But I don't know where I'm looking. Sorry, I'm probably not looking at the camera correctly. I'm doing it from my phone. But yeah, his first time here at an infusion, and I'm in a bed for the first time since I was in the hospital. All of my other infusions have been in a chair, usually in a room full of other people getting their infusions as well, which is somewhat nice that, to have that community, be able to talk to people that are going through it with you. And then sometimes it's nice to have your own space. I have also been in places where I've had my own space when I was doing an infusion, but still always in a chair. And here I'm in a bed, got warm sheets and ice, which I will be sucking on throughout my chemo, because the chemos that I've chosen to do, the biggest side effect for me will be mouth sores like I got last time, but sucking ice helps. So if you have to go through chemo and they say mouth ulcers might be a side effect for you, eat ice. Like, don't stop eating ice. Ice, 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 ice. Eat ice. Ice, ice, baby. Just eat ice all the time. If you can get that crunchy ice, get that crunchy ice. I'll put a link to the crunchy ice machine I got for home. I'll add it to the description because it's a game changer. Anyways, getting sidetracked. Yes. How I feel about starting chemo again. I mean, obviously not happy. I don't want to be starting chemo again. I never wanted to ever have to think about doing chemo again, and didn't envision that I would be, but here we are. Thankfully, this time it's going to be 2 rounds, rescan, and see how things are going, like how much it's shrinking. And I know a question I've gotten is, will I lose my hair again? And thankfully, I will not. I chose mouth ulcers over losing my hair. So the choices were the 2 chemos that I'm going to be given, I've already been given. One being carboplatin, another being, it's called 5FU, but it's like 40, a long F word. What caused me to lose my hair last time was the docetaxel that they had me on. Last time I was on 3 chemos.
How are you doing? Oh, now you have company. Okay.
Yes, company.
All right.
Doing all right. Thank you. I was on docetaxel, carboplatin, and the 405FU. So the docetaxel is what caused me to lose my hair. For this round, there was 2 options, the carboplatin and the 405FU, or the carboplatin and another one, I don't know the name of it, but that other one would have caused me to lose my hair. And it's like, well, why would you want to do that one if you can do the other one and there's the option to not lose your hair? But there's, pros and cons to both. With this, I stand the chance of the mouth ulcers, which are brutal, make it hard to eat. It makes everything taste like dirt and mud. Nothing tastes like it should. So I will get those, but I would much rather have the mouth ulcers than have to lose my hair again. They did say my hair may thin, but it could also not, but it won't fall out. Like, it won't just start coming out in clumps. But I worked so hard to grow my hair back, and it's getting long, and I don't want to lose my hair. So I'm grateful I had the option to not lose my hair. But alongside that, I have to go home on a pump. So the chemo is going to go home with me on a pump attached to this. I'll wear like a fanny pack type thing, and it will infuse the 5FU chemo over the course of 96 hours. And so, some people may not want to have to go home on the pump, and they prefer to just do the chemo in the infusion center one day, leave, not have to worry about having something hanging off of you. But if I had chosen to not do the pump, then I would have had to lose my hair. So I did the pump before. It really wasn't too terrible. It wasn't too difficult. It'll be a little bit more, we'll have to be a little bit more cautious now that the baby is not really a baby. She's not really a baby anymore. She's a toddler, and is prone to pulling things, even on accident. She's very careful. She knows she has to be careful around mama. She knows she can't really play with this side of my face. So she's very gentle, but it'll be a learning curve to have to tell her she can't pull on the string that's hanging off Mama's arm. But I think she'll be okay. But like I said, I did it before. I'll do it again. And I'm feeling hopeful because we just met with our oncologist who gives it to you like it is. And he sounds very hopeful, which makes me feel very hopeful. Babe said the same thing. Just, he feels like we can get rid of this. And that's the goal. Get rid of the cancer. That is the goal. So fingers crossed that will happen. And we are here for at least 6 weeks. So I will not get rescanned until 6 weeks from today. So this is my first infusion. Then I will have a 2-week break. I will do another infusion. And then 3 weeks after that is when I will get rescanned to see what everything is doing. And yeah, that's just where we're at. I will not lose my hair, potential of mouth ulcers, and I'm feeling okay as I can about being back on chemo. The first time, my mom, before I left the house today, she's like, do you have your bear? And I was like, no, he's upstairs in my bed. I sleep with the bears that I used during my first chemo experience. I was like, no. She was like, well, I can go up and get him. And I was like, you know what? Nope, I'm okay. I don't need him. I was like, I'm a cancer adult now. And she's like, what? She was like, you were an adult last time. I was like, kind of, but I felt like a child with cancer. Like I felt like a child completely thrown into this world that made no sense to me. I was scared. I was broken. I was all kinds of things, all kinds of feelings I didn't know. And this time I feel like a cancer adult. I feel like I have matured in my cancer journey. Is it still scary? Yes. Do I still have, worries? Yes. Do I have a lot less of them? Also, yes. I spend every morning doing my YouVersion devotional of the day, and I feel like those really hit me right where I need them. Like I don't pick them. It's just whatever YouVersion has picked for the day, but they really seem to resonate with me. And I try to remember that when I get anxious or when I get worried, to just remind myself my heart is calm, my body is capable, my baby is strong, and God is in control. And I'm just trying to have more faith than fear, because I'd rather feel that. I'd rather feel faith than fear. I'd rather feel hope than anxiety. And that's where I'm at right now, and I'm grateful for that. And that may change as side effects start kicking in, and I'm frustrated because we're still here and still hooked up to machines and still dealing with all of this. But for right now, I feel okay. So if you are getting ready to gear up for a second bout with chemo, recurrence of your cancer, just know that you may not feel as scared and as crazed as you did the first time. And I really hope you don't. So I guess that's it. That's all I can think of for now. Thanks for coming to Infusion Day with me. Bye, everybody.